Okay, so next up we have Bellingham, and I'm going to put Bellingham. I'm a bit torn here between the very good season and the good season. And again, with these midfielders, on paper is just not good enough. Although for Bellingham, even his on paper season's been quite good. You can say he had a good season, but I view Bellingham was having a very good season. He had a very good season for Dortmund. Again, Dortmund didn't, do anything special in the Bundesliga again. It's not like they really can with the squad that Bayern have right now. But even in that, I think Bellingham had a very good season. I want Bellingham out of the Bundesliga. I want him in the Premier League. Another year of development would probably do him quite good, but I really want to see Bellingham in the Premier League. I think that club like Liverpool would do him quite well. A club like Liverpool and United, which really need that aid that can just get the ball from offense to defense all game, and I think Bellingham can be there. It's also going to be very interesting to see if Southgate is going to start Bellingham in the World Cup or not. In 43 games played this season, 31 to the Bundesliga, which just shows how important to this squad Bellingham is. Bellingham has had a total of 20 goal contributions, 26 goals and 14 assists. 3 of those assists and 1 of those goals coming from the Champions League. So in 6 games in the Champions League, Bellingham has registered 4 goal contributions, which again, this is another guy that could really be here, but his numbers compared to the rest of these guys, although his performances were amazing, you could say world class, just not yet. Very good, but not yet, at least not this season. Then we'll move on to Timber, a player that has had a massive jump this season, helping Ajax to win the league again. Was it now 3 in a row? Impressive. Part of the reason why I had to go Ten Hag. One of the players that really helped Ajax to win the league this season, and Timber at the age of 21, being one of the starters in the team, playing 30 games. I have to put him right here. Very good. But let me just I'm not going to sort these out. You can put them in any order really. Any of the guys in the very good tier or in any other tier. I'm not too bothered about arranging them. Just they're on that tier. And I think Timber had a very good season, helping Ajax to a title, being one of the young centre backs to do it once again for Ajax. This Ajax youth development team is impressive. Their development, the whole structure is world class. De Ligt, not Timber. Yeah, Timber, very good season. And it will be interesting to see if United can get Timber by the end of the summer. Then I want to move on to Felix. A lot of people probably watching this video probably think that Felix didn't have that great of a season regarding his expectation of what he was meant to do at the club and the price tag and everything and what he has delivered so far. Felix has been nothing less than lackluster. I think that's the best word to describe Felix's time at Atletico Madrid. But this season, I would say Felix had a good season. Didn't have a very good season. Didn't have a world-class season. But I think he performed better than Nili or Meh. And he was better than Sancho this year. He had a good season. He scored 10 goals and assisted 6 times. Played 23 games in La Liga. 2 games in Copa del Rey. Again, Felix is, especially if you watch Felix in that Benfica team in 2020. If we're talking about that year, Felix is right here. World-class player, up there with the very best young players in the world. But a lot has happened, and it's really sad to see Felix so low. But at least it's not down here. He had a good season. Again, 16 goal contributions in 44 games. It's not the best, but it is good. Now move on to Rodrigo Vanish's partner in crime, and although he didn't have the same level of productivity or really performed at the same level as Vinny, I still think that Rodrigo had a very good season. Impact player for Real Madrid in the Champions League, another guy that came off the bench like Camavinga, but where I give Rodrigo the edge over Camavinga is of overall how consistent he was throughout the season. And I understand Camavinga didn't play the whole year for Real Madrid, but I have to give Rodrigo that. Actually, no. Camavinga did play for... Yeah, he did. Was it in the summer? Regardless. It doesn't really matter anyways. But Rodrigo, 9 goals and 10 assists this year. 90 goal contributions in 49 games played. Still impressive. Very good. But not quite world-class yet. Then I'm going to move on to Martinelli. Gabriel Martinelli. A player that is... a lot of people are looking at and probably say that he'll take over for Arsenal in the next few years. I think it will take him a bit longer than that. I think his game still lacks a few things. He also lacks that physicality that the strikers in the Premier League need to have. You could point out to a player like Vardy, but a player like Vardy is just experienced, very smart, knows where to move and when to move, and just got different speed. I don't think Martinelli, at least physically, is not on the level yet. We're not here to talk about Martinelli's fitness. We're talking about this season alone, and I think he had a good season. It wasn't a very good. It wasn't on the same level as some of these guys here. It definitely was not world class as some of these guys here, but it was good. I think you can pair him on the same tier as Camavinga and Felix. Maybe not to the same. Maybe he didn't have the same extent of the same impact that Camavinga had, for example. But he had a good season. And before we move on, actually, I think I'll put Camavinga up here because Camavinga is not on the same tier as these two. Camavinga had a much better year than these two, and the impact he had at Real Madrid, especially again in the Champions League knockout stages, was very good. It's impressive. I mean, the football Camavinga was playing really and truly was world class, helping Modric to boss the midfield against PSG and Chelsea. I'm pointing out those two games because those were when Camavinga was at his best. So yeah, I put him at very good. I don't think putting Camavinga at good is reflective of enough of the season that he had. These two, yeah, they were good, but Camavinga was better. Let's put him up a tier. Then we have Smith Rowe. Breakout season for Smith Rowe. You could say that he started playing for Arsenal's first team 2 years ago, last season. But I think this was really his breakout season. He scored 10 goals, assisted twice this year for Arsenal in 37 games played. Very good, or just good. I'll put him at good. Again, compared to some of these guys, the seasons they had, I mean, Vieira, 14 assists. I think he was the top assist in the Portuguese league. Probably Octavio, one of the two. Won the league with Porto. Has to be a very good. Camavinga, Champions League, very good. Timber won the league, very good. Bellingham, individual performances up there, very good. So I can't put Smith Rowe in the same tier as some of these guys. Gavi and Pedri and Foden, the impact they bring to the team, very good. I don't think Smith Rowe had that just quite yet. I think he had more of a similar season as Martinelli and Felix. So I'm going to put him here at a good tier. Still impressive. Still impressed a lot of people this year. I just don't think it's on the same level as those other guys. Yeah, again, let me just reiterate this once again. 13 goal contributions in 37 games played this season. In the Premier League alone, 10 goals and 2 assists. Double digits in goals, which is good. Very good. But again, those guys on that list. Yeah. Now we'll move on to Florian Wirtz. Young player playing at Leverkusen this year. It won't be long until we see this guy playing for Bayern Munich. If you know how this Bundesliga league works, is as soon as any player starts to perform well, Bayern will go and snatch him. But just on Wirtz right now, 19 years of age, in 31 games played this season, 24 goal contributions. Very good season. A very good season from the youngster. Also helped Leverkusen in the Europa League, although they got bounced quite early. In 6 games in the Bundesliga, in the Europa League, he managed to register 7 goal contributions. 7 goal contributions in 6 games. Very good. In the Bundesliga alone, double digits in assists, 10 and 7 goals. Very good season from Wirtz. I'm going to be excited to see what Wirtz is able to, how well he's able to perform next season. My bad. Because this year he really impressed a lot of people. He impressed me, including And yeah, great player, great season, very good season. Can't wait for next year to see what he's able to do. He signed an extension with Leverkusen. We'll see how long he'll stay there. I'll give him another year, maybe half a year, because at the level that he's performing, it won't be long until one of these teams come and snatch him. Then we move on to Jeremy Pino, young player from Villarreal, another player that had a good season. Again, for Pino, again, these midfielders, it's really hard to rate them. It's really hard because these goals and assists are not enough. Like with Camavinga, it's not enough. So you just need to watch them to see how impressive they were and the way they command the midfield. It's like how Modric won in the World Cup, the Ballon d'Or in 2018. Sure, you could say Ronaldo had more of a case to win, but Modric had just as good as a case, and his numbers didn't translate that. But Modric, the way he dominates games, that's what world-class midfielders do. And these youngsters, they're not world-class yet. Some of these guys are not yet. But if you're talking about the season they had, it's quite hard to just look at the numbers. But I'm going to put Pino at a very good, a good season. Again, the thing between really good and very good that I'm having trouble right now is that some of these guys in this tier were just spectacular and were this close to world class, and these guys, they didn't have as good of a season really, so I'm just going to put them at good. I'm going to go on and rank Pedri next. Gavi's partner in crime. And the problem with Pedri this season is that he was injured a lot. He only played 21 games. So I really shouldn't have put Pedri on this list, but I did because he was, again, I just came up with this list, some of the best youngsters in Europe, in the world really, that came up to my head. And I put Pedri, I forgot he only played 21 games. I'm going to put Pedri at nearly. I can't put him at not yet. He didn't have a bad season, he was injured. But at the same time, I can't say he had a good season. So yeah, I'll put Pedri here. Actually, yeah, I'll put Pedri here for now. Then I'm going to go and rank Bayern's Musiala. Sorry if I butchered his name. Was it Jamal Musiala? Good player. I don't think he is, on that level of the likes of Foden and Gavi yet, but he did have a good season this year, with 8 goals and 5 assists for Bayern. Played a lot, 39 games played. I'll say Jamal had a good season. Let's keep it at that. And finally, we have Alfonso Davies. I think he's the only second defender that we have on the list. My bad for that. I didn't really think about that. But yeah, I think Davies had a very good season. Once again, being the left back that Bayern needed. Dealt with a few injuries this year. Didn't play as much as he should have. But yeah, with Davies, actually I'll put it good, just because of the number of games he played. Yes, he did help Bayern to go and win the Bundesliga, and when he did play, he was quite good. He dealt with a heart condition this year. Then he also had to deal with the coronavirus and 5 problems. But when he did play, he was good, which just goes and screams. He also had off the field stuff, with his girlfriend and whatnot. So I'm going to say he had a good season. If maybe he was more available, he could have really been on this very good season, which was what I was thinking at the beginning. But no, I have to put him at good, even especially considering those injuries that he had this year. But that's it, guys. I think I'll have to put this video into 2 parts, part 1 and part 2. This will probably be part 2. But thank you very much for watching the video until the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more game analysis, football history, individual performances, top 10s, etc. This is the beginning of something special, and it would mean the world to me if you subscribed and help me to grow this channel.